What's up, everybody? Jason Messer here, editor-in-chief of Cheat Code Central. Thanks a lot for checking out the stream. Anybody watching this back on our feed later on, or checking it out live on YouTube and Facebook. So, what are we going to talk about today? We have a couple things, a couple news items that we're going to discuss, two of which are Game of Thrones related, and we're also going to talk a little bit about we're going to talk a little bit about some coverage we have planned coming up real soon for a very special anniversary, which I am looking forward to next week. But first, I'm actually going to do a quick shout out to a subscriber shout out for YouTube for anybody that has subscribed this week. Shout out to Richard Cundiff, my cousin, actually. Appreciate the support. Darkshot 101, appreciate the sub. Thanks, brother. And finally for this week, we have... I believe it's Sahil Khan TV, although I want to call that Shao Kahn TV, because, you know, Mortal Kombat, and that's my favorite game ever. Yeah, big thanks to anybody who subscribed to the channel this week. Remember, you can find me on YouTube at Jason Messer. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can follow me on all social media at Jason Messer. Also, don't forget to like our page at CheatCC, or Cheat Code Central on Facebook, of course, as always, where we post all of our content. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it, shall we? First topic of the day. So, of course, on the internet, there is no lack of things like fan theories or conspiracy theories or just general internet rumors. And George R.R. Martin has never been one to shy away from not only shooting down those rumors, but to tell you how stupid you are for believing in them in the first place. And, you know, rightfully so. Good for him. And there is a new one that's been floating around recently that Martin had to take to his blog earlier in the week to dispel. And it has to do with kind of a silly conspiracy theory, if I'm being honest. It's one of those situations where you wonder why it got as far as it did to where he actually had to come out and say, you know, give clarification for something. But we have the truth. The truth has come out about a very controversial topic revolving around the books specifically and their status. Now, the rumor was that George R.R. Martin, and if you didn't know, he's the author of the Ice and Fire series that the hugely popular HBO series is based on. And the show is in its 8th and final season, but the books have not been finished yet. They are actually, they're 2 books behind. But the theory goes, or the conspiracy goes, that the books actually are done. George R.R. Martin did finish the books, and either HBO or the showrunners, or whatever the case may be, in order to ensure the success of the show, or to be honest, I don't pretend to understand the ins and outs of the theory, because it doesn't seem like a very well thought out theory. But it goes that they worked out an arrangement with Martin, that even though he has finished the last 2 books, he would not release them, he would sit on them, he would make sure that these books never saw the light of day until after the show was finished. I know, you're probably thinking, like, what? Is that a thing? Does that make any sense at all? Well, we have the truth. This week, we got the truth. And we got the truth from the horse's mouth. No pun intended. No offense intended. Yeah, we got the truth from Martin himself. So we're actually going to read his statement from his personal blog that he posted earlier in the week addressing this rumor. So we're going to take a look at that right now. And it's one of those situations where, again, you would think this goes without saying that you should take things that you read on the internet with a grain of salt. But apparently in 2019, we still haven't got there. So here's what George R. R. Martin had to say on his blog. So this was posted on May the 13th, which was just a couple days ago. And I'm not going to read everything that he posted here. I'm just going to get to the pertinent part that deals with specifically the rumor. And now the last two books in the series are entitled Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring. And I think it was probably 2 or maybe 3 seasons ago that the show caught up with the books, and then they just kind of went off and started doing their own thing. I think, obviously, Martin was a big contributor in that, and he kind of helped outline and give them a general direction of where the show should go that would be in keeping with his vision. But the last 2 books of his story, the story that he is going to tell, have not been published yet. Now, again, the theory is that they're done. He's just not releasing them. Well, here is what George R. R. Martin had to say on his blog earlier in the week. Now, he has some stuff up here, and then he gets to this part here. He says, "It seems absurd to me that I need to state this. The world is round, the earth revolves around the sun, the water is wet. Do I need to say that too? It boggles me that anyone would believe this story, even for an instant. It makes not one whit of sense. Why would I sit for years on completed novels? Why would my publishers, not just here in the US, but all around the world, ever consent to this? They make millions and millions of dollars every time a new Ice and Fire book comes out. And for those who don't know, a lot of people don't realize that the novels are not called Game of Thrones. That's just the TV series. Game of Thrones is actually one book in the series. So they make millions and millions of dollars every time a new Fire and Ice book comes out, as do I. Martin talking about himself, of course. Delaying makes no sense. Why would HBO want the books delayed? The books help create interest in the show, just as the show creates interest in the books. And he says, so no, the books are not done. HBO did not ask me to delay the books, nor did David and Dan, who are the showrunners for the series. There's no deal to hold the books back. I assure you, HBO, David and Dan would have both been thrilled and delighted if The Winds of Winter had been delivered and published 4 or 5 years ago, and no one would have been more delighted than me. And of course, he goes on to say exactly what I had mentioned before: don't believe everything you read on the internet. So there you have it. There is absolutely zero conspiracy. Now, if you want to have a conversation about the books being delayed, causing a drop in the quality of the show in the last seasons, that's a separate debate, and we can have that debate. And we're actually going to, of course, do our coverage here on my channel and on Cheat Code Central's Facebook feed the night of the finale. So I'll be giving you my thoughts on there. So be sure to subscribe, like the page, and be sure to check us out for that. But a lot of people do feel that because the latter seasons that we're in now are not based on a specific book or storyline that has already been written, and the showrunners are kind of off doing their own thing, the story is not as tight or as strong as it was in the early going. So a lot of people got worried that because of George R. R. Martin's age, is he going to be able to finish the books? And, frankly, he did not take too well to that. I actually saw an interview where someone specifically asked him for that, and his response was, well, you know what? Anybody that's worried about me, not living long enough to finish the books, his response to that was F you. I mean, he didn't like the fact that people were having a debate about his mortality. But the bottom line is, the books are not done. He didn't finish them. It's no wonder, it's no surprise that they're not done, because if you know the history of the novels, they have taken decades to finish. Not necessarily because the story was that hard to write, it's just that's Martin's pace. That's how he writes. He takes his time, he lets things stew, and he kind of really makes sure that he has things figured out and plotted out exactly the way he wants. I'm not sure exactly why it takes him as long as it does to finish a book, but that's not for me to decide. That's his style. and these are great books, and they've made a great show. So I'm not going to criticize or I'm not going to question his method. I mean, all things being equal, yeah, I'd like both books soon, and I like them immediately. But at the end of the day, I'm certainly not going to buy into some half-cocked fan theory that he is finished the books, he's sitting on them like secretly, he's held them back just for whatever. And again, anybody who believed in that theory that needed Martin's statement to clarify that, what possible motivation would he have to not release those books? I'm pretty sure he's going to make more money in publishing and publicity than he would any kind of deal that they may have gave him, some kind of backdoor deal. That doesn't make sense to me. Secondly, the show would have benefited from the books, and the show would have been even better, and we could have he could have had the bragging rights to say the entire show was based on his works and not just the first part. So yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm glad Martin stepped up and clarified, but yeah, the bottom line is, if you want to see what the showrunners have planned for the show, we have one more episode left. It's this Sunday. But if you want to know what the real story of Westeros is and how that finally pans out in the novels, you're just going to have to bide your time and wait, because as he always has, Martin is going to take his sweet time, but I have a feeling it's going to be worth it. And I just wanted to mention that if you guys have any questions or comments about the stream, you want me to answer anything live on the stream, be sure to hit us up in the chat. Also, again, thanks for subscribing and liking the page. Share this wherever you would like. I always appreciate the support. Now we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit about an anniversary that's coming up, and something that I'm very excited about, involving the Friday the 13th series. So a very exciting anniversary is coming up. On May the 26th, we'll mark the 2-year anniversary of Friday the 13th, the game, on all consoles and PC. The Switch game actually just released, and a lot of new fans are being turned on to the game. But for those not only backers, but the early adopters, the people that jumped onto this game early, we will have been playing this game for 2 solid years. I can tell you that there is not many games that's going to hold my interest in something that I'm still going to be excited to play 2 years in. Very few games have done that in my gaming career. This is still one of them. I'm still enjoying Friday, despite all the problems, and there are many, and we're going to talk about that. But yeah, I'm very excited to be bringing you a preview of what we have planned to mark the 2-year anniversary of the game. So next week, Cheat Code Central, via my YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page, we're going to be rolling out essentially a week-long stream of content. And I don't know, it's not going to be necessarily every day, but it's going to be a lot of stuff. It may be every day. I'm actually not sure how we're going to roll that out, but to ensure that you don't miss anything, be sure to like our Facebook page, Cheat Code Central. Also, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and all of my social media at Jason Messer, and be sure to get all those notifications. So what we have planned is I'm going to be doing a lot of live streaming of the gameplay, because I still play the game fairly regularly. So I'm going to live stream some gameplay and just me having fun with the title, maybe talk about my experiences with it. I'm going to be telling some Friday stories that I I'm a huge Friday fan anyway. The game has not turned me onto the series. The reason I love the game is because of the movies, and I know it's a lot of there's a lot of people it's the other way around, especially younger gamers that necessarily didn't grow up on the series but like the game, and now they can go back and watch the movies. And some of them don't even watch the movies; they don't even care. They just kind of know about the character tangentially because he's such a huge pop culture icon. A lot of them haven't even seen the original films, but I'm a fan from way back, so I'm going to be telling some stories about not only the game, but the Friday series and some of my experiences in general. I have some interviews lined up, specifically one that I'm very excited about. I'm going to be speaking with Larry Zerner, which is the gentleman who played Shelley in the original Part 3 from the original series. I have to say original now because, as you know, Friday also fell victim to the remake trend, so we have a kind of a new series of Friday films, which kind of has already died off. But yeah, he played Shelley in the original Part 3. He's actually a copyright lawyer now, and a very successful one at that, but he also still supports the Friday community, which is great. So I'm going to be talking shop with him, maybe digging into some set stories, but also we will be talking about the game, the lawsuit that is kind of mired down, not just the game itself, but the entire series. Now, I don't plan to rehash the lawsuit details up to this point because, there's been a ton of that lately. My interest is going to be more where not only the game goes from here, but a lot of what the lawsuit has tied up the game from is also affecting the series itself. And we're talking films and sequels and all that stuff. So I'm going to get into that with Larry and pick his brain a little bit. And I have some other things planned as far as, community outreach and some things that we're going to do with some of the Friday fans in the community. But I'm very excited about that. Next week is going to be all Friday all the time. It's going to be a great way that I can mark the 2-year anniversary, not only of the game, but just for me, it gives me an excuse to talk Friday. It gives me an opportunity and an outlet to really dig into one of the series that I have loved for years. I cosplay as Jason, not only for Halloween, but for some horror conventions that I go to. So yeah, I'm pretty married to the character. And he's my namesake, obviously. So there's that. So yeah, definitely check that out. I look forward to bringing you guys that content. Be sure to, again, like the Facebook page at Cheat Code Central, and also follow me on YouTube and all social media at Jason Messer to get those notifications. And we will see you next week, Friday fans. And again, guys, don't forget, hit me up in the chat if you want to, if you want me to answer anything live on the stream. I'll be glad to do that. We got one more topic, and then I might bust out the Xbox for some gameplay because we're rolling along pretty good here. I might kick back and play some stuff. I don't know. Should I play some PUBG maybe? I haven't played PUBG on stream in a while. Could play some more Mortal Kombat 11. I might do that. I don't know though. Let's see. Yeah, we got one more topic. We're going to do one more Game of Thrones topic, which I think you guys will like. Ties into the finale, which is coming up this Sunday, which we will, of course, have coverage of. Let's dive into it. And again, don't forget to hit me up in the chat if you guys have any questions or comments. And I will answer them live on stream. So I hadn't planned to do any more Game of Thrones fan theory videos. I did one earlier in the season just because I had a couple things that I wanted to get out there in case they did come true. They did, by the way, which is fine. Everybody has a fan theory and very few of them come true. But I got to be honest. I got one more. And I just thought about this earlier. So I'm going to put this out there before the series finale this Sunday. And I also want to mention, make sure that you like our Facebook page on Cheat Code Central on Facebook. Follow me on YouTube at Jason Messer and all social media at Jason Messer to get those notifications because we are going to be going live immediately after Game of Thrones wraps this Sunday. Now, there's a lot of controversy surrounding this season. A lot of people aren't happy with some things, and I'm not going to comment on that just yet because I want to let the entire season wrap up before I give my thoughts. But we're not only going to do a breakdown of the season finale or the series finale on Sunday, but I'll give you my thoughts on basically the final season this Sunday as well. So be sure to check that out. But in the meantime, I was thinking about something today. Now, this has got spoilers for last week's episode. So if you haven't seen this past episode from this last week's Game of Thrones episode, be warned, this is spoilerish. And you can click off now and come back later. I won't hold it against you. But I was thinking about the last week's episode. Now, we saw Daenerys basically come unhinged. It was something that people had speculated was going to happen. And she not only came unhinged, she went full-blown what people look at as the Mad Queen. And I got to thinking about what possible motivations could she have for that, but also, what do they do with this character now that they have only one episode left? They really have opened a can of worms with it. This is the kind of thing that would be addressed over like a whole nother season. Now we have to cap it in one episode. And if you haven't seen last week's episode and you don't care about spoilers, essentially what I'm referring to is the fact that the seas of Westeros, or rather, what is it? What's this? Not Westeros. The King's Landing. I don't know why. I blanked on the capital's name. So the Seas of King's Landing happened. And as expected, the good guys decimated. I can only imagine what they had done or would have done had she had 3 dragons. But she only needed 1. Literally, the Golden Company were useless. They were wiped out instantly. Daenerys burned their fleet. The Ironborn made no difference. And in a very short amount of time, the battle was over. The battle itself only lasted maybe 5 or 10 minutes. If anybody in the chat that watched the series has a better idea, let me know. But from what I remember, from the time the battle started until the time that they rang the bells in defeat and surrender, it couldn't have been more than 10 minutes. I'd say it was less than 10 minutes. It was pretty clear that they were no match for Daenerys and her forces. But then what happened is she kind of had this mental turn, mental break, something. So essentially she wipes out the entire city. Now remember, they've surrendered. They're beaten. She doesn't care. She wipes out everybody in the city. And I'm talking soldiers, innocent women and children. No one survives. She destroys the Red Keep. It looks like Cersei and Jaime are killed in that. She decides that she's just going to level the city. Nothing is left. It's just ruins, and everyone is basically wiped out. There's no discretion, which puts Daenerys in a pretty bad situation, or it puts her character in a bad situation, because now we cannot like this character. We cannot support this. Up until now, she's did some questionable things, but you're able to kind of dismiss that or accept it as if to say, well, she's somewhat justified, and this is war. War is never, black or white. It's gray areas. So you have to kind of accept certain things that may or may not be acceptable normally, but under the circumstances, you have to kind of turn a blind eye to it and say, well, she's just doing what she has to do. There's no coming back from this last episode. Daenerys is completely screwed as a honorable, heroic character. She's as bad now, if not worse, as the Lannisters or any evil character. The Night King, she's up there with him. You cannot support this character. Or so we were led to believe. And this is a possible theory that I came up with today that I'm going to put out there, and we're going to see if it pans out this Sunday. So if I put myself in the mindset of the showrunners and the writers, what possible motivation would they have to take this heroic character that they have been building up for 8 seasons, and in one episode turn her completely, essentially evil, and then only have one episode to explain it? Well, maybe it's because that Daenerys is not the heroic character that we are going to end up with. Because remember the theory about the prince that was promised and the Lord of Light storyline and bringing Jon Snow back from the dead. Could it be that Daenerys, realizing that everybody has essentially thrown their lot or their support behind Jon Snow, she even mentions to him that I'll never be loved as much as you are. all of her advisors around her, except for Tyrion, is essentially saying, "Look, Jon Snow is the better choice." That's the reason why Varys got toasted, because he's basically telling everyone, and just like Sansa's telling everyone, and pretty much anybody that will listen, that knows the truth about Jon being the rightful heir, that he is probably a better choice for not only the throne, but as someone who needs to be a protector of the realm, to bring the kingdoms together, and finally be a good leader for the realm. Could it be that she realized that not only is she never going to have the support that Jon has, did she realize that maybe, in spite of her own instincts or her own desires or wishes and wanting the throne for herself, did she realize that Jon is the best choice? And in doing that, did she realize that the only way Jon will ever be successful is to kind of clear a path, to cut out the cancer, the rot that is King's Landing, that is the Lannister regime? Did she try to purge the city with fire in order to say, look, I removed any obstacles in your way. Now I'm turning the kingdom over to you. Or is she going to sacrifice herself? Or is she going to die? Does she know she's dying? Something. Is there some version of this where Daenerys does not live past the last episode? Because that's the only explanation I can see. There's no way to explain this away unless someone just outright kills her. And I mean, we saw Jon pull his forces back and kind of retreat. Essentially, I saw that as essentially a sign that he was withdrawing his support from her attack and maybe her as a queen. So it's a possibility that he'll do that, but it doesn't seem likely. Maybe Tyrion will do it, knowing that she can't be on the throne because of how crazy she's become. And I saw a really funny Facebook meme today. It was the guy. It was the thinking guy that goes like this, and the caption was, "There's no people to hate her if there's no people left." And it's like he's thinking, yeah, because she wipes out everybody. It's completely non-discriminatory. Discriminatory? That's not a word. She didn't discriminate at all. She burned everybody. Now, how can a character like that still exist and be on the throne and only have one episode left? You're not going to get to see what happens later on. And we've already seen that a lot of the cast has said that the ending is satisfying. You may not be happy with it, but it's satisfying. I can't imagine anybody that would be satisfied with another evil dictator on the throne. We've already had that with Joffrey and Cersei, and it just doesn't make sense that that's how it's going to end. So could it be that Daenerys is clearing the way for Jon Snow? That at the end of the day, all of this evil crap that she did in the last episode was for a greater good? Or is it some version of that? That's the only way I can see where Daenerys doesn't end up on the throne, but also doesn't end up as a complete villain. Because if it happens to be that she's going to sacrifice her throne and her stake to the Iron Throne and her reign for the greater good, to allow Jon to be the rightful heir that he is, but also to be a good king, her gift to the realm is giving them Jon Snow. Could that be why? Could that be the explanation? Because if that's the case, then you can almost excuse the last episode. You could say, well, yeah, that was crappy that she sacrificed everybody, that she just destroyed everything, but it ended up for the best. Is that going to happen? I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I'm just pulling stuff out of the air like you are, that like most people are that are reading these theories online. It's just another theory that may or may not pan out. But I know one thing. Regardless of my thoughts on this season so far, and I do have some thoughts, I'm very appreciative that we had the last few episodes that we did. It definitely it picked up quite a bit from the start of the season, which was very slow. The first two episodes were all building, which I was kind of bummed about. But the last two episodes definitely gave us a lot of excitement. As a side note, the battle between the Hound and the Mountain, epic. That was great. The effects on that, as far as how they framed the shots of the Mountain up on the tower with everything crumbling behind him, and then the Mountain the Hound coming up the steps, and the fight scene and how it ends. Everything about that was great. I could not have asked for a better ending to that story arc, which you kind of always expected was coming. The overall arc, I don't know about yet. We'll have to wait till next week and see how that pans out. But again, be sure to check back here for our series finale coverage. Again, you can follow us on Facebook, Cheat Code Central, as well as YouTube at Jason Messer and all social media. But we will see this Sunday how the one of the biggest TV series in the history of television wraps up. And if my fan theory is just that. Is it just a theory? Probably. I don't care. I'm going to enjoy the episode regardless. So let's see. We've got about 20 minutes left here, guys, because we're going to stream for about an hour. We play something? Yeah, let's play something. Some Xbox, people. Let's play some Xbox. And as always, don't forget, you can hit me up in the chat, answering any questions or comments you may have live on the stream. What are we going to play? Let's play a quick game of something. I'm going to save Friday to next week. I'll jump into some PUBG. I haven't played PUBG in a while. PUBG game going. Now, I was kind of bummed because I jumped into PUBG a couple weeks ago for the first time in a while. I hadn't played PUBG in a while, and I remember the last time I played was, I remember they had just introduced, I think, the desert map. Sure, I got my things. Just jump into some kind of map. Yeah, the last time I played the desert map, or that's the last time I played when they introduced it, but they also introduced the Harley Quinn and Joker models, which I thought was really cool. Did not know they were timed. So I was actually going to download the Harley model, because I thought that was really cool, that you could play as Harley. But yeah, apparently that was just timed until March or something. So if you already got the Harley model, you should know that I'm very jealous. I am not happy about that. I mean, good for you. Don't get me wrong. But I wish I had it too. And had I known it was timed, I totally would have bought it and just kept it. They also need to maybe do some more crossover stuff, because I'm seeing all kinds of cool crossover stuff every time I turn around. For Fortnite. Matter of fact, they just announced a new John Wick crossover crossover thing. And of course they did stuff with Marvel and all kinds of stuff. They don't do enough with PUBG. I know they have some, but yeah, I wish they would do more. I mean, the DC thing was cool, but they should do that like every season, like at least every quarter or something. Have something. I don't think there's anything going on right now of note. Or just not make things exclusive. I would, like, why can't I buy the Harley thing now? That would be, I mean, you're losing out on money. I'm trying to give you my money. I will totally buy that. But it's just seems like leaving money on the table. I'm sure that had to do with DC. They probably worked out some kind of exclusive thing with DC where they got it, but only for a certain amount of time. Alright, so I think I'm glad that this loaded up the classic map, because this is the one obviously I'm most familiar with. And I already have like my favorite spots on this map. I think I'm gonna hang out in the plane till I get to the island, and then I'm gonna jump into a buggy, and I'm going up to the radio tower, because the radio tower almost always has a good scope at the very, very top. Hopefully there's not that many people that has my plan. sometimes, you know, sometimes it's also not easy to get up there without getting shot, because sometimes people go to it right away. But I got to the point where there for a while, all I did was raid the tower. Like, no matter where I was, I would get into a car, drive across the bridge, and raid the radio tower because of the loot. Because it typically has really good loot. If you're looking for a good loot spot, there's a guy right under me too. There's a buggy down here. Hopefully I can get it, or he gets a weapon. Yeah, if you're looking for a good, consistent loot spot, the radio tower almost always has good stuff. Around here. Shot here. There we go. And we're off. So hopefully nobody actually... I don't think anybody could actually get up there from where I loaded in. I didn't see anybody heading that direction. So if we're lucky, we'll get there. We'll have the whole mountain to ourselves. Because what would be nice is if I can drive up here. If there's nobody in this first area, just make sure. There's a lot of cars down here, though. If there's nobody in this first area, I can raid this first building, which it usually has pretty good loot, and then I can drive on up the hill. If I'm even luckier, I'll be in the circle, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, I have a buggy. Now, if you notice from the last time I played PUBG, I play first person on foot, third person in a vehicle. I know that drives a lot of people bonkers. They're always telling me, like, dude, especially when, like, if I'm playing with a squad of guys and they're spectating me, like, dude, get out of first person, you're making me dizzy. I don't know, I like it. I mean, to me, I have a better bearing on the map. Obviously it's more Call of Duty style, even though I'm not really a Call of Duty guy. I play it a little bit, but really, I mean, any first-person shooter, I'm more of a, I'm gonna put my level 2 vest down for level 1, that was dumb. Yeah, I like having the, first person. I just feel like I have a better... It helps me with the aiming and everything else. Now, I do make one exception, because if I'm, like, running... Wait, get my helmet back. If I'm running, like, distances, I'll, hear somebody coming, I think. Yeah, if I'm running, like, long distances, I'll throw into the third person just so I can kind of see anybody around me. But yeah, you guys should try it. I mean, if you don't already... It's a whole different gameplay. I keep putting my level 2 helmet down for level 1. But I guess, to be honest, if you're watching this, you already play PUBG or you like PUBG, and the odds are is you already have a playstyle, you're not going to switch it up. I guess some people just like... It's like people who are huge fans of I'm sure, like GTA, like the third-person style. But I cut my teeth on shooters back on, like, PC in the late 90s, and it was all first-person stuff, so... That just happens to be what I'm most comfortable with. It's like a supply drop just went over. Am I going to get lucky enough? Get that? Nope, it went way over there. I need to be careful here, because I honestly don't know if anybody's up here or not. Alright, the doors are closed. Maybe I'll get lucky. Not real thrilled with my setup right now either. I don't exactly have... I don't exactly have a good gun yet. I like an AKM. I need an AKM or an M4. It was my cousin's favorite gun. Yes. Yeah, usually on the top level, there'll be like a 8x or a 4x scope, which is fun because then we can jump in and go snipe over the prison. Level 2 backpack, 2 helmet, level 2, so on. Level 2 helmet, level 2 backpack. Alright, well, it looks like this is a bust. I'm sitting there bragging about how great it is to raid this area, and I didn't even get anything good, so let me... my attachments here real quick. So what do we got here? SKS, the red dot on the... there, extended mag, there. Quick draw, I hate that, so I'll drop that. Extended mag. Get the red sun off there. Alright, so. Alright, so where to? I'm in the circle, so that's good. I'm not just gonna camp because I don't really have a good enough setup to camp right now. I'm gonna go, I guess I'll go raid that little building that's at the bottom. See if I get a better gun. So far though, I've been fairly... haven't really had, haven't seen anybody yet, which is a good thing. Good in here? Nope. I'm not having any luck today. .762 ammo, but... not here. I always check these corners, because I like to hide in these corners, in these buildings, and other people do too. Alright, well that wasn't much. Alright, so where do we go, guys? I have very limited setup. I mean, I have some decent gear. Let's see. I guess I'll go over the hill here. That's usually a high traffic area, so I might be walking into a death trap, but I need some loot. I got nothing. I'm not exactly thrilled about my setup right now. I want to try to keep this buggy close by in case I need to move quick, but it's also... I guess I can coast down. The engine is loud as crap. I'm gonna coast down to this... building here. Hopefully nobody hears me. Trying to be covert. There's another buggy down here, so... maybe that means this area hasn't been raided yet. Alright, so I'm gonna sneak up here. Anybody home? That might be good. I just need one good automatic rifle. If I just get one, I'll be happy. What do we got here? One, I'll take this 9mm. I'm gonna swap out this other SKS for this. Did I get that? Did I get the right weapon? No. Never actually used this weapon. Is it like full auto? Good. Alright, so do I still have a scope? I didn't put a scope on that one, I don't think. What do I got here? That's holographic, I think. Okay, so alright, I feel a little better about that. else we got here? Backpack. Oh, I hear fire shooting. Tommy gun. Yeah, I guess I'll take the Tommy gun. Just to the... Here, guys, what do I have? A Tommy gun and the Bison. Okay. Need to load up my Tommy gun here. Keep my Tommy gun for inside, because it's a good spray and pray weapon. I normally like to have an Uzi for raiding in the houses, because they pretty much cut anybody down. If you get a good automatic, like an Uzi, that you can just blast people with. And not to say that I'm a professional PUBG player, but I've had a lot of success indoors with the Uzi. Like if you're going to go raid inside, because you really don't even have to aim. You can just hold the trigger down. And it, even with people with a vest, it cuts them down pretty quickly. If you can get the drop on them and get the shots off first. Let's check out my weapons here. What do I got? So Tommy gun. Do I have anything? Extended mag. Don't need that. So I'm gonna drop these extended mags. Flash hider. I don't need that. Quick draw mag. I'll put that on my pistol. Not that I ever use the pistol. Alright, so I hear some people buzzing around outside, so I'm getting a little nervous that this area is starting to get a little more traffic. But I don't want to just camp in the house, because I'll be honest with you, if I was playing by myself, if I wasn't streaming, I mean, I'd totally camp in this house for like the next few minutes until the circle changes. But that's not much of a stream, is it? So, for you guys, I'm gonna go be a little more dangerous. Because my attitude to PUBG has always been basically a big game of hide and seek. If I can get a couple good items, a decent weapon, I will literally, I'll find any good spot in the circle to camp and I'll just hang out until the circle changes. I have no interest in kills. To me, that's not what this game is about. Oop, went the wrong way. I hear some people shooting. They're not shooting at me, are they? I'll go back this way. Yeah, I'm not interested in kills at all. Ooh, there's a firefight right there in that building. I'm gonna go way around that now. Yeah, I have no interest in kills, and if you're a high kill count person in this game, I mean, good for you that you're able to do it. But you're not playing the game right. The W is the only thing that matters in this game. Getting them chicken dinners. And every chicken dinner I've ever gotten by myself, and I think I have about 3 or 4. I haven't played a ton, but like, any chicken dinner I've ever gotten, it has been me being as stealthy as humanly possible, engaging as least as humanly possible. Meaning if there's, you know, I mean, I'll blast somebody if they walk right in front of me. They don't see me, sure. I mean, I'll take the shot. But for the most part, if you want to be successful at PUBG, raid as fast as you can, get a good setup going, and then just hang out. Find a good spot to hunker down, a safe spot. Watch your blind spots. Don't get in a situation where somebody can sneak up on you. Get in an area where you can watch the entrance and the exit, or you can watch, like if you get on the top of a building where you can see people coming in from a distance, or you can see people coming in the bottom. The point I'm making is you don't have to worry about kills. You can get to the top 5, the top 10 if you keep a low profile. And that's what I always try to do. Because I already have a decent enough setup for what I like. So normally I wouldn't be raiding this much and running around this much, but I don't want you guys just sitting there staring at a bush while I'm hanging out trying not to die, so. Energy drink. Not enough space. So my backpack is full. I got a level 2 backpack. And somehow it's full. So let me get rid of some stuff here. First aid, adrenaline, energy drink, painkillers. I don't need this. Do I need 9mm? Yes. So I don't need any of this 5.56 or 7.62. Right, so give me that energy drink now. 12 gauge, shotgun. Check outside. Nobody's following me. Okay, so there's another... Oh, crap. Shooting. Alright, so the circle should be moving soon. I think I'm going to head back towards my Jeep. Or my, my whatchamajigger. My buggy. I don't even know where it's at. What did I do with it? Did I park it in the front? I parked it in the front. In. Oh my god, I hate that. They should fix that. When you get into the vehicle, you should default to the driver's seat. You should not get in the freaking back. Doesn't make any daggone sense. I'm trying not to cuss. I normally don't use the words daggone in my personal life, but... Alright, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die. Okay, good. Oh, is that a level? No, level 2 vest. Yes, 9. I need 9mm though. I'll grab some of this. I'll grab some of that. Bandage. See, now I'm just stocking up on my other essential stuff now. I've got more than what I would need. I mean, I wouldn't mind if I could find a better weapon. Ooh, a scar. Okay, so there we go. Oh man, I really wish I hadn't dropped all that ammo back in that last house. Kind of regretting that now. And yes, I just got really excited about finding a scar like it was the first time I'd ever found one. But when you raid this long, and you don't have a good weapon, you start to freak out a little. So yeah, you get excited about the little things. So I need 5.56 ammo. Bad. I think I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back and get that ammo, ain't I? Alright, so I think it was like one house over, plus the circle moved anyway. Alright. This is probably gonna be dumb. I might die, but I'm gonna have to go back and get... So I'm gonna have to go back and get the ammo that I just dropped in that last house because I found a better weapon. What are you gonna do? I was full up. Backpack was packed. I think it was this house. Try to sneak in so I don't get shot if somebody happens to be hanging out here. I think it was upstairs. Don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die. Where was I when I was dropping all that stuff? Not here. Are they in here? Come on. Oh, I think I was in the building next door, actually. I think I ran over here. Hopefully I was in here. If not, I'm just say screw it, because I don't want to hang out here and get shot. I think it was right here, though. Yeah, should be right here. Okay, so I need 5.56, so grab that. It's a significant amount, too. Flashlight. Shit, I hear somebody. Okay, he just drove by, so good. He's up there, as long as he keeps going. Alright, so I'm gonna go this direction, avoid that guy on the bike. See, you don't have to kill people to win. You only gotta kill one person in this game to win. So remember that, kids. You need, in PUBG, exactly one kill to win. And it just has to be the last guy. If you can avoid everybody else in the meantime, and still get that W, you do it. You have my permission, you have my approval. Am I in the circle already? Nice. Alright, so where do I go from here? So I'm back towards the radio tower. Gotta try not to die on this hill. Oh. Doing some off-roading here. This is gonna be bad. Oh, don't die on this hill. I think I'll be alright. I think I'll be alright. Alright, I'm good. And you know what? Technically, do you even have to get one kill to win this game? Because couldn't the last guy commit suicide by accident or something? I'm sure that's the case. So you could technically win this game and get 0 kills. Oh, I hear some shooting. I hear some shooting. There's somebody's bike flipped over. Oh, look, see. Somebody right here died. The bike's flipped over, but I'm not even getting out to check that. I don't even care. I need a safe spot. I need a safe space. Like you millennials, I need a safe space. Oh! Did that guy just try to run me over? He sure did. Look, and there he goes. Alright, I'm not gonna chase him, though. Yeah, he came really close. Here's another one. I'm getting out of here. Screw you guys. There's too much activity going on. I'll hop in one of these. Oh! No! You do not shoot at me. Oh, and there's a guy in that building right there. Gosh, it's like a friggin'... like a war zone down here. What do I expect? I'm literally right by the military base. I should have known not to drive back down here, so I'm gonna have to just hang out the outskirts of the circle right now. I wish I had just like a little shack I could go camp out in. What am I? So I'm the 26th person alive, so I'm at the top 25% of the game right now. People left. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm swapping out my vehicle. Because the Jeep is covered. So now they're not gonna be able to hit me, so I'm not sitting in the open Jeep. I think I'm just gonna have to truck it around here. I could get to the other side of the military base. Maybe I'll go over here and see if there's any... Boy, this thing does not handle as well as the buggy. Maybe if I go over here, I'll get in one of these little small shacks, and I can camp out a little. Won't be so nervous. Man, somebody's shooting at me again. Did you hear that? Somebody tried to snipe me. I think this shack will be semi-safe. Oh, somebody's shooting at me. So somebody saw me come in here. Wow. Did you... Look at that! There's a bullet hole. Somebody's shooting at me in here. And the bullet holes are coming through the wall. That is crazy. I fear for my life right now. Pretty sure somebody's gonna come in here. The sucky thing is they know I'm here. How do I get out of here without dying? They're probably going to be watching my car, my Jeep. Yeah, how close is the Jeep? Okay, so it's right there. So I should be able to make a run for it, providing they don't blow up my Jeep in the meantime. So the circle has shrunk. Okay, so I think I'm going to hang here for a second. I'm in the top 18. I want to do top 10. I need to be at least top 10 to consider this a successful game. By the way, the bullet holes disappeared. Huh, did you see that? For some reason the texture didn't stay. How that is. We got 1 minute 25 seconds till the circle shrinks again. And I'm gonna have to drive back down. Where's the circle at? So I'm gonna have to drive. That looks like that's back at the radio tower. So we are gonna end the game where we started. I raided the radio tower to begin the game, and that's where it's gonna end. 15 left alive, 14 left alive, so at 40 seconds, I'm gonna make a run for my Jeep and try to get back in there. Hopefully I pull it off. I mean, I'm right on the edge of the circle, so I can't imagine anybody's hanging out waiting on me. If they're on foot, they got to be trucking it over to the circle anyway. All right, in 30 seconds, I'm going to go. Oh! Oh, wait, that was me. I got nervous, and I pulled my own trigger, and I thought somebody was shooting at me. I was just shooting at myself. That happens. That happens a lot. All right, here's another Jeep. Does he see me coming? Oh no, don't roll the Jeep! Oh, I'm so screwed. Oh, I'm stuck in the Jeep. Maybe if nobody sees me, I could just hang out here. Hey, technically I'm in the circle. Technically I'm in the circle, guys. If nobody sees me, I'm just gonna stay here. Why am I whispering? They can't hear me. Alright, so that's my... Oh, crap. Okay, somebody... Alright, well... That's my professional PUBG playing, but I did make top 10. I made top 10. That's always my goal. At the very least, get a top 10. But yeah, you saw my professional grade PUBG playing. I shot myself in the foot running to my vehicle, and then I flip the vehicle, and then as soon as I get out to do my Rambo thing, I die. So, it's pretty much how all my PUBG games tend to go. Well, that was fun, guys. I definitely enjoyed playing some PUBG. I haven't played that in a while. Might play some more sometime soon. Next week, though, remember, streaming exclusively Friday the 13th content. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff there. Definitely check it out. Be sure to like our page on Facebook at Cheat Code Central. Follow me on YouTube and all social media at Jason Messer. And we will see you next week for Friday. But remember, this Sunday night, be sure to check out our Game of Thrones series finale wrap-up. We're going to be talking about everything that went down in the final episode, and I'll be giving you my thoughts for not only that, the entire season. We're going to be looking back at essentially what we were left with the final series, or the final season of this awesome series, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, so be sure to check that out this Sunday night. And I can still hear them shooting at me, or shooting at other people in PUBG, so I'm going to get out of here before I get shot. See you guys later.